Starmer's G7 faceplant and the migration meltdown no one saw coming. Right, buckle up, because what you're about to read is absolutely mental. Picture this. Keir Starmer, jetting off the G7 summit, chest puffed out like it's about to solve world peace, striding onto the global stage with all the confidence of a man who thinks he's got illegal migration sorted. The media flashes, he shakes hands with Macron, and the headlines beam. Britain's new PM means business. Except, almost before the ink is dry on those decisive leadership headlines, Starmer's own government quietly admits the truth. Migration numbers are rising, not falling. You couldn't script a more spectacular political faceplant if you tried. But here we are. And if you think that's bad, wait until you see the numbers, because they're about to blow your mind. Before we dive into this absolute masterclass in mixed messaging, smash that like button, metaphorically, if you get a kick out of watching politicians trip over their own sound bites. Because trust me, you're in for a treat. So, picture it. Starmer at the G7, probably practicing his serious leader face in the mirror, telling anyone who'll listen that Britain is going to smash the gangs involved in people smuggling. Sounds tough, right? Sounds like he's got the whole thing under control. Wrong. Because while Starmer was busy playing statesman and chatting with Macron about cooperation in northern France, which, let's be honest, sounds suspiciously like diplomatic code for help us, we're drowning. Back home in London, his own Downing Street spokesperson was telling the press, yeah, about that, it's actually getting worse. And here's where it gets properly bonkers. Let's talk numbers, because unlike politicians, numbers don't lie. Since Starmer became PM in July 2024, we've had 9 months of his so-called tougher migration leadership. In that time, 30,000 people have crossed the English Channel. That's basically the entire population of Llandudno, deciding to take a very wet day trip to Dover. And if you think things are slowing down, think again. In 2025 alone, there have already been 6,100 crossings. At this pace, we're headed for nearly 40,000 total under Starmer's watch, with over 2,000 in the last week alone. Forget a border force. At this rate, they might as well set up a welcome desk on Dover Beach. But wait, it gets even more embarrassing when politicians try to spin the narrative. Enter Darren Jones, Treasury Minister, who thought BBC's Question Time was a perfect venue to showcase Labour's, shall we say, creative relationship with reality. Challenged about border enforcement, Jones claimed a majority of small boat migrants were children, babies, and women. Now, I don't know what parallel universe Jones visited during his Border Patrol trip, but back here on planet Earth, the Home Office's own stats show that 73%, that's nearly 3/4, of 2024 arrivals were adult males. Jones later tried to backtrack, saying he was only talking about one specific visit. Sure, Darren, and I was only talking about one specific time when I said politicians can't count. If you thought government incompetence was the only story here, think again. While ordinary Brits are prosecuted for not paying their TV licenses, guess who's been footing the bill for asylum seekers to binge-watch EastEnders? You guessed it. Reform UK's Dodge unit dropped a bombshell. Kent County Council spent over £1,000 on TV licenses for small boat arrivals, plus another £24,000 on cinema trips, trampolining, and shopping sprees at JD Sports and PC World. That's right. While families are choosing between heating and eating, asylum seekers are getting taxpayer-funded entertainment packages. The audacity is breathtaking. When Reform called this out, the political deflection was classic. Liberal Democrat MP Mike Martin dismissed the findings as a clown show, claiming Kent doesn't have an asylum budget. Except Reform's team came back with receipts, actual budget codes, and council documents. It's like watching someone deny owning a car while sitting in the driver's seat. Here's the thing, this isn't just about Starmer looking foolish at the G7, though he absolutely did. It's not even about ministers who can't read their own statistics, though that's embarrassing enough. This is about a government that talks tougher migration while the crisis deepens, promises action while spending your money on cinema tickets for illegal arrivals, and claims progress while their own spokespeople admit things are getting worse. 40,000 crossings in 9 months isn't a policy failure. It's a complete collapse of border control dressed up in diplomatic language. So, what's your take on this absolute circus? Are you buying Starmer's tough talk? Or are you as fed up as I am with politicians who can't match their rhetoric to reality? Let me know in the comment below. And don't hold back, because this government clearly isn't. For more British political truth-telling without the Westminster spin, stick with UK Plug. Because in British politics, the truth is always stranger than fiction.